Is this John on? Hello. Finance board. I don't think the sound's picking up though, is it?
It says offline or out.
Oh no, it's picking up. Wonderful. Okay. I gotta turn this thing on, I think. How was I turn this thing on? Is it okay. Sure.
You have to put it in like the middle. It's the mic, right?
Well, you guys are already close to that one. I'll just put one over here then. Alright. So, start the meeting at 5:33 p.m. September 11th. Alright, so another little bit of housekeeping. Tanya will not be able to come in today. She's currently nursing a migraine. I'll her rest up. So that leaves the awkward question of who wants to take minutes as I look over to the side of the room. You didn't bring your laptop.
8 minutes. It'll be a mess.
Well, we do need someone to take minutes.
I'll take minutes.
Thank you, Candace.
I'll take minutes.
Right. Okay.
I don't take minutes like time.
Yeah, but I mean, anything works, right? Okay, so I need to move right now to remove something from the agenda. Last week's minutes, you guys didn't have a chance to review beforehand, so I'd like to strike it from this agenda and move it on to the next one. All.
Second.
Okay. All those for removing approval of minutes from September 4th. Please raise your hand. All right, and we may have a 5-0-2. Wonderful. Now we need to approve the agenda. I need to recognize everyone, don't I?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I recognize that I am present. Carly is present. Scott, Kunal, Christina, Zane. Currently, Tanya is out as she's nursing a migraine and will not be able to come. Approval of the agenda. Everyone had a chance to look at it? Looks good? Okay. I would like to move to approve the agenda. Okay. All those for approving the agenda, please raise your hand. All right. 601. All right. Now we need SRC nominations. So, Cecilia, you were here, but you've been voluntold to do SRC. You weren't here, so you're forced into it. SRC committee.
What is that?
It is a stipend review committee.
It's the what?
Stipend review committee.
Oh, it's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So the stipend review. Okay.
Yeah, like just to do it, but to say that like.
That you didn't want to do it? Yeah, okay, all right. So, for the finance board, the SRC committee is a committee that meets every quarter to review the stipends of every single paid member of SGA. Okay, so the finance board is supposed to send 2 members. Currently, Kunal is already disqualified as he technically served last semester, and there's a rule saying that if you served last semester, you can't serve the semester after that. Scott's currently doing nominating committee, so he's already had a committee placed up to him. Tanya is currently the co-chair of the committee, so obviously we can't send her twice. And that leaves you and me. And as such, we've been voluntold by the bylaws to go to the SRC committee.
So we both are.
Yeah, we're both doing it, because there's 2 positions.
That's fine, but
Yeah.
you have to tell me what I have to do.
Yeah. So essentially, is to show up to a meeting on Sunday. What's the day? I want to say
October
something.
6th and
October
December
6th and December 2nd.
I don't know what's the next day.
Yep.
Yeah, just quarterly review.
Just quarterly.
Okay, and then what do I like observe when I go to the?
Oh, when you go there, you're going to be reviewing so like, you know, the SRC reports are a thing?
Yeah.
You're going to be going through all of those and just seeing like how much work people are doing and if they're following through what they're saying, what they should be doing. Yeah. All right. So I would like to nominate Susina for the SRC committee.
Second.
All right. Is there any opposition to Susina?
No, I second the second.
Yeah. Okay, very well then. Congratulations, Susina. You've been appointed to the SRC committee.
Hey.
Do we have to vote? Lily didn't do it last time. It moved a lot quicker. Yeah.
Yeah,
All right. Next one. Now, someone needs to nominate me, or I need to nominate myself.
Alright, nominate Daniel.
Okay. Someone second motion.
Second.
All right. Is there any opposition? There's no opposition. Congratulations to me for being on the SRC committee.
SRC.
Actually, can I do that? Because I served as co-chair last semester.
Doesn't matter. You didn't serve on the committee. You weren't a voting member
I
of
was not,
SRC.
you're right.
So.
Very well. There we go. Anyway, okay. All right. So meeting preparation, we can move on to that one now. Everyone had a chance to look through the requests. So of course, so right now before you guys, this is what I sent to every single student organization that was coming in today. I did not send them what the other student organizations would be seeing, just the personalized ones for them. This one's probably just for you, actually.
Great.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So, has anyone anything you guys want to bring up? So, like, I think the biggest thing, if we can just roll through this, musical theater club. I don't see too many issues with that. It seems relatively straightforward. They're asking for standard fees. So yeah, nothing too big here. Is there any other issues anyone has with this?
You brought up an issue because they have student directors.
Yeah, the only thing is just that we gotta clarify how they're choosing the performers and stuff like that, and making sure that's actually open for everyone to apply to.
I think what they meant by, within the request, it says something about a no-cut event, so I think they just mean like everyone who comes out to the auditions and stuff will be put somewhere in the show. So that's very inclusive of them, the directors, yeah, I don't know.
Right, and then we gotta clarify, we're gonna ask the questions, you guys see the questions, we'll just be asking through those, and I don't see too many issues with this, we should get them in and out relatively quickly. Chew MBC Supplies, so this is an organization that was formerly known as Cooking Club. For you guys, for Sissy and Scott, you guys weren't here last year, except Scott, you probably were, but, yeah, so last year they had promised that they would be looking into ways to self-sustain themselves. One of the things that we're looking at right now is that how often do we want to just, if we were to theoretically fund them right now without any restrictions, they'd be coming back every single week of the semester. And I don't know if that's what the Finance Board wants to be doing. In the wording of our guiding documents, it seems, in my personal interpretation at least, it's not focused on general body type meetings, which is what these seem to be like. Of course, that's to your guys' discretion about how you'd like to tackle this situation. Are there any thoughts on this organization?
I personally just want to them every single week.
Yeah.
I feel like when I look at the request, they put it all together, and it's much better, and they get to plan ahead.
Yeah. Scott? Oh, sorry. Scott?
If they framed it as having an event every week, cooking a different thing, would we fund that?
I mean, that's of course a personal thing. It's just like everyone has their opinion about it. Personally, if they framed it as an event, we funded events that go towards smaller groups of people before on campus. I don't see too much of an issue like that, but it's just it's going to clog up our logistics if we have organizations coming in requesting every single week for, oh, we just have this one small event that we want to do.
Well, they requested 5 weeks at a time.
Yeah, I think they requested week 4 and 5. And
Yeah.
Self-funded 1, 2, 3.
Yes, there's technically 2 requests.
Yeah.
For 5 weeks.
Yeah. So we'll have other organizations coming in and saying, oh, well, we'd like to have this for our small meeting that we have every single week. Is that really what we want to be doing, etc. So I think that's something that we will need to discuss. And also, it's like the spirit of the Finance Board, of course, is to support student organizations. So, you gotta keep that in mind. Are there any other issues with SHU-MBC?
Well, this isn't more of an issue, but
Yeah, we're just
talking in the office yesterday with like Indy and Candace was saying, well, what if it was, the event was to have ingredients, like we paid for ingredients for events where it was like more advertised for them to cook, and then their general body meetings were more just like planning for those events or something.
Yeah.
And like that idea, I don't know if that'd be a good idea to propose to the board, to MBC once they come in, about like, have you thought about maybe reorganizing or rearranging how you want to do this? You're not cooking maybe every general body meeting, but you're doing larger like trial cooking events.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. Certainly. Okay. If any other comments, concerns?
I think Tom also has some ways about our words are going to be stored. I feel like what's going to happen with the ingredients.
Yeah.
Last year when they came up, they said they just eat it though.
Huh?
They said they just eat it last year when they came up.
The leftovers?
Yeah.
and stuff. I mean, Food is food, yeah.
Or I'm assuming like they would just like name it, like, you know.
Right,
Yeah,
yeah.
take home.
Use. So I guess it's one time use technically, because it's gonna be eaten, so.
What? I'm sorry. What if they did like some kind of like social deal or something like that? So what if they took it to like a food pantry or homeless shelter or something?
Whatever extra food they have.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're certainly allowed to.
Yeah, plenty of ideas.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, then there's a liability issue of donating food, especially prepared by amateur cooks. So, I don't know.
Most of those places only take them their package.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good thought.
Yep.
That's where network does that thing. They
Mhm.
take a bunch of extra food on like
Yeah, that's what
weekends.
they do. I imagine they could get a contract though.
Oh, yeah, I think. I
Yeah, they
don't
have
know.
a contract with Charles.
Yeah,
And Charles is like professional service.
Yeah, they can work together.
yeah. But, okay, Scott, you got anything else? You wrote a lot that you want to bring up that you think will be a big concern? You know, don't, make it nice and quick. We got, or do you want to skip this? Generally fine?
It'd be more helpful if I had my laptop.
Oh.
Just a bunch of questions for you guys to think about before.
Yep. Okay, well, let's just move on then. So, next we have HSC, Ras and Dole. This is another one of those, it's a cultural organization requesting for cultural event. We have nothing there. So, there are no notes on that. We have a couple questions for them, but let's take a look see into this one. HSC. So I mean, I don't think we're gonna have too much of an issue with setup, audio, visual, security, comms staff and stuff like that. So the contract, entertainment contract. I know we have a bunch of questions written down already, so probably hitting on those significantly. Is there anything else? Food. You know, this is our first food request as well. Obviously, $300 is a pretty low amount, so I don't think we're going to run into too many issues there. But you do have to think about the ramifications of how we're justifying this food expense.
Also, the drinks were not purchased. The receipt that they used for their quote was like a receipt that they printed out, but they didn't actually purchase it. It was just to use as a quote.
Oh,
Yeah.
So they don't need to be reimbursed. As
Yeah.
far as that.
Right. So,
not to interrupt. What, how, like, I mean, obviously in the documentation, but then just come up with 300 for like, their, really, like, their food, like,
their attendance to the food.
well, yeah, but how do they come to the food, like, I mean, obviously it's what they buy, but like, how much do they buy for?
I guess that vote for food.
It was, yeah, it's on there. It's, I don't know if it's on the.
Here we go. The request there was 375, but they're only getting 300. Is that a typo?
That's not for the food.
That's-
That's-
Yeah, well, I'm bad.
I think it's up more, is that one?
300, yep, here we go, $3.
It's only like veggies.
Yeah, veggie samosas and we're running green chutney.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like every single person gets one veggie samosa.
Yeah, it's like little apps.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, we'll need to have a justification of why we're funding food for these type of events. So think of that very carefully. I'd like to apply this broadly so that we don't have to come back to this every single time. But oh, why are we funding food? So keep that in mind. Oh, all right. What's after that? There's SAS. SACE. All right. SACE is requesting money for a.
Yeah.
SASE.
Instead of sassy. I think it's-
Wait, did they change the amount that were requested?
Did they?
I'm not sure, it seemed to be a bit lower last time, wasn't it? Yeah.
Ah,
Oh,
What happened?
I asked them to send, wait. I think I asked them to send an updated stuff on the registration, or at least tell me how much the registration was. And then in that presentation that they also sent me, it had like the screenshot of like the actual registration cost. I didn't realize that they had something that they budgeted with that.
So, you hit on that one. Does this put them into the deadline issue?
No, because we're, like, I only started doing treasure trainings like a week before
Yeah.
school started again, and we decided to push back the deadlines for submission for requests under $1,000. We pushed it back to 30 days, for last year it used to be 15. For $1,000 to $3,000, we pushed it back to 45 days, where it used to be 30.
Yeah.
And then the 3,000 or more is still 60 days ahead of time. But I just kept it, like, for the month of September, because that was still when I was treasure training most people. I would still allow requests that were going on in late September and early October to be submitted, so that they could still have their event without getting fucked over by just finding out about new deadlines and stuff.
So where's the documentation of this? I'm only seeing.
Is it in their presentation?
Is it this? Oh. I just want the documentation. So I have 7 people going, registration $330 each. And they're trying to roll by the old 25% precedent. Yeah, and then they all have 50% travel. Okay.
And that's the screenshot.
Oh, Matt's
Oh,
changing
hey,
it
you see it?
right now. Well prepared.
Hey, he's coming in at like 6:30, so he's got like 45 minutes.
This is the $330. Oh, they give us a nice little breakdown of what's going on. Can't even read it though. I'm trying to expand this.
Hey, just zoom.
Oh,
Just zoom.
why is this control button not working?
Oh, at the top left corner, you can zoom.
That doesn't make any sense.
Okay.
You guys read that?
Oh, that kind of works.
So this
Workshop, Thursday reception. The total is 330, it says.
Yeah.
per person.
So all we're doing is paying for their food.
Lunch and keynote.
Yep, lunch, keynote, breakfast, Saturday breakfast. Yeah, what we're doing is paying for their food.
Career
This is an annual event, right? So
Yep.
This happened before. What, do you guys remember anything
They
about it?
came requesting money and they were giving full fund, whatever the precedent-based funding was.
Because it's just registration fees.
Yeah. Okay.
Wow.
So yeah, keep that in mind, of course. Not every single organization's registration fees are going to be broken down like this. So this is actually, I think, quite different. Generally,
Yeah,
we don't do this type of
yeah.
stuff.
Most of the time, just a month fee.
Yep. All right. So of course the question is, this is our first travel registration and lodging request. How much do you guys want to fund for this? Essentially the question. And how much do we want to fund, or do we want to fund? Yeah. So keep that in mind. I think, is there any big things that you guys, this is mostly just for you guys like to get a preview of what's going on, just in case you didn't have as much time to look over things. But once we get to discussion, we're gonna have actual discussion, so.
So just a clarification on the price. So none of these are like correct totals? Or is this like the
This is the
corrected
correct one,
Okay.
yeah. They increased by 1,800-ish.
So, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Why are
then,
these bringing it in? Because do they use 25?
Oh, the lodging and the travel, yes, they already edited it so that it was 25% of their lodging costs and 50% of their travel costs based on last year's finance board precedent.
yeah,
So that is already 25 and 50% of those costs.
it's switching your full budgets. Please, just do it that way. It's a lot easier for us, rather than us having to guess around. Oh, great, okay. Because the documentation doesn't work as well that way. Also, I can't decipher what's going on with this documentation.
It also, it's very hard to find the price on that. I was looking at it. And I was like,
It's just like a
no, it's right in that, all those capital letters right there. It says the airfare.
$291.39 plus $24 service per fee per person. So $300 flights. Okay. Yeah, we need to confirm that this is not going to an advisor. SGA, I think there's probably a bylaw somewhere I want to say that SGA doesn't fund for advisory
You don't
fees.
pay
Yeah, we don't get faculty.
That's what's going to be concerning.
You
is
see
all
it,
the
like,
events.
right up there.
I didn't look at the Sculpture Club finance program.
Oh, come on. You guys have something right here. We're just going over who is for on there.
We got Rashid Patel, Andrew Lee, Rashid Patel, Andrew Lee.
That's just their president and treasurer.
Yeah.
But it says they have 7 people going, so maybe they only put those.
Maybe it's the same.
Yeah.
Is it the same? Is it the same like what?
I think it's 2 and 4.
Okay, so this, I guess we look at the history of it.
Well, these are already booked.
Yeah. The confirmed already, yeah.
They paid for
This
these.
is paid for, we can pay for this.
So why did they put it?
Also,
I
another.
mean, they did it through this travel management company.
Yep. Another question that we should have is that we asked, oh my gosh. No, that's the person from my work. Oh my god, what's her name?
David,
No. She negotiates contracts.
Chandra.
Yes, sorry, I want to say Donnie. Donna Hardy, for some reason I'm like, no. Yeah, but no, we asked her to review contracts that are large. These are $3,000 requests for tickets. How do we know they're doing their due diligence? This is the cheapest price that they're requesting it. You know, it's very, like, for bus tickets and stuff like that, the costs are lower. Frankly, the costs are significantly lower. And I think Firesburg has a lot easier ability to swallow that. Bus tickets aren't going to top, what, $100 max per person?
Yeah.
These airfares, these are $300 flights, and we have no guarantee that they're pursuing the cheapest option. Like, I don't know how we're supposed to be voting about this.
So the question would be, have you looked at other options?
You know, why did you choose to do it through Globetrotter, travel management, etc.? And also, then this is another third-party company again. Do they have any ties to Globetrotter travel management? Because if they do, I think that's a conflict of interest for them, and I don't think SGA could be funding that. As it seems like we'd be siphoning money from the municipality to them.
Wait, is it?
Second thing, that's I had something to say.
Globetrotter is the company that SABSC uses, so.
Okay, there we go. See, I didn't know that. But
So did their advisor book these for them?
I was the president of this.
And how would they have known to book it through Globetrotter if they haven't booked it through a partner?
Yeah, I don't know. We had to ask these questions.
Yeah. So look, I think they're good questions.
Yeah.
And you ask them ways in which they're open-ended and allow for you to get as much information as you can. And not only do it, right? You have to be really clear about your questions.
Yeah. Oh my god, everything's like this now. Okay. So crew is bringing in Frank Turek for talk. We're requesting their conference fees. Also, organizations should have the ability to host events on campus. You know, that's my justification for it. I don't think you should run into two issues at this point. Alright, let's move along. We already went through HSC. And then last one, Society of Women Engineers. Same questions that we're going to need to be asking SATs. They're requesting for $4,429. And I don't know if this is cut or not. And yeah,
They were also really good at, I know Heather one-on-one originally, treasurer, they were also really good about like submitting all the documents in on time with the budget, all accurate, first time, ready to go, and then you reach out to them for documentation.
Okay. Good start. Is there any other questions? Anything else anyone wants to bring up before we get into the computer club? No? Oh. Hello. Welcome to this word. Start with you guys. Yeah, we're going to do introductions. So, is anybody want to start that off?
Sure. Hi, I'm Zane Palmer, the Vice President of Student Organizations, and
I can go. Hi, I'm Daniel. I'm the current chair of the finance board.
Hi, I'm Carly, I'm the chief treasurer, and chief reference.
I'm Zach Allen, I'm the secretary of the school leader club.
Hi, I'm Tara. I'm the Vice President of Musical Theater Club and I use SGA.
I'm Andrew. I'm the Public Relations Manager for the School Theater Club.
I'm Scott Buchanan, Finance Board Representative, Eden.
No, I'm for representative.
I'm Tori Easley. I'm coordinator for student organization engagement. I co-advise finance board.
Candice Martinez-John, Assistant Director for Leadership and Governance. I also advise Finance Board at a point of information. What are your last names?
Oh.
Banham, B-A-N-H-A-M.
B-A-N-H-A-M. Sarah?
Kitchell, K-I-T-C-H-E-L-T.
K-I-T-C-H-E-L-T. I had written your name, Andrew, and remembered it.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Grabowski, G-R-A-W-S-K-I.
Cool. Thank you.
I'm Sosina, and I'm finance board representative.
I'm Joshua. I'm a first year master.
Okay. All right. So let's get started. Tell us about your club and your event. Sure.
Okay, so first our club is Musical Theater Club, so we have a couple events that go on around the year, but the one that we're focusing on today is Showcase. So Showcase is a cabaret style event. It's no cut, meaning that everyone who auditions gets in, and it's very freshman friendly. It's like the first thing that we tell freshmen at our involvement fest, so like a third of them are freshmen. Last year we had over 80 people audition and perform in Showcase, and we expect that to grow this year. And we also have positions open for tech, directing, and crew for people who do not want to like perform on stage but still want to be a part of the club. It's a weekend event. It happens on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night in November, and we usually hold it in the recital hall. And it's usually one night we sell out, and the other nights we come very close to selling out with an audience capacity of 252. It's free for UMBC students, but there's a lot of off-campus population, but it is an open event. And we've done this for many years now.
It's an annual event. I think this is our 13th. We started in at least 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been doing this for a while.
So, finance board's now gonna, I sent you a list of questions. Did you guys receive those?
Yes.
So we're just gonna roll through that list. We're gonna double check through those, all right? You scroll down to the very bottom. Who's the like before, please? All right, so I'll be asking, I imagine, you this question. So, what's the timeline of this performance? So, like, how's this gonna be working?
So it starts with auditions, which are this upcoming Thursday and Friday. That gives freshmen who are new to the club and Involvement Fest at least a day to prepare. It was going to be over a week, but I'm not back.
Yeah.
And then there's a casting meeting this Saturday where people decide among who's auditioned, who goes into what number of the showcase. Then rehearsals begin. Rehearsals are typically organized by the director for each song.
Okay.
There are group members. It's like an open and closing, all boys and all girls number. And those are open for everyone who's in the showcase. So everyone has the potential to be up to at least 4 numbers. If they only get cast into one, they go to all 3. Those typically happen weekly on Sundays. The rehearsals for the individual members are more up to the director's discretion. And then the event itself we have in November, I believe 9th, 10th, and 11th. The days we have. So it's a Thursday night, Friday night, and Saturday night performance.
All right. We're going right down the list. So, how are the performance directors and tech staff selected? I know you guys said no cut, but other than that, like, how are you choosing the directors and that stuff?
So basically, if people have an interest in directing, they send us an email, and if their number fits our theme for the show, then they're allowed to direct it. They don't have to have any experience prior to that. And same with tech staff, if they want to be a part of, they just shoot us an email, and then we tell them about all the dates that are going on for Tech Week and the show dates. So.
The performers themselves, it's based on auditions. So some people might write like, I only have time to be in one song this year, so they would go to one song, and the people are like, I'll be in as many as you want to put me in. And then depending on the actual quality of their audition and their voice part and other factors, that's decided at the Saturday casting meeting while the directors sit down and say, here's who's going to which thing.
How do you estimate 650 attendance? I know you guys said the gym sells out. Does finance board accept that as a valid answer? Previous years they sold out, so they're going to do 650 attendance. So we're just going to skip through that one then. Why is there a cost for non-students?
So the cost, all the tickets go back to the club, so it'll help cover. We have, along with other fundraiser with Saturdays, we have to choreograph for our small fall musical and our large spring musical. We keep it free to students, so they're more encouraged to attend. But we basically, it's just so it can support the club in future events.
Okay. They answered the following question, number 5 as well. That's what the money is going to be used for. No cut event. You guys explained that as well. Has there been any other attempts at fundraising?
Yes, actually. So last week we went to Savage Race, and that's usually our biggest fundraiser that we do for the year. We volunteer from 7 to 5 p.m. every just for the Saturday, and it's $50 for every club member who shows up. This semester we only had 6 people participate, and usually we have more. But it was like a busy weekend for people, and it was also before Involvement Fest, so people didn't really know about it. So we made $300. We also participate in the spring and are looking into our fundraising opportunities in the future.
Okay. All right. Are there any costs that your organization is covering from carryover or out of pocket, etc.?
So generally, not really. Showcase doesn't have a large set like our full scale musicals would do. If there's a director who wants to do a song and they're like, I really need these costumes, I really need these props, and I can't get them myself, that's when we might go into club carryover. But in general, it's usually out of a director's, if it's a specific proper costume, it's coming from the director or from out of pocket for the board. But,
okay. Final question, how was the theme selected?
Well, it was we voted on it. So at the start, we do this for a showcase theme and for the spring theme. So we basically have a general body meeting, which we announce probably 2 weeks in advance, where we say, come up with as many themes as you can think of, and we'll write them all down on the board, and then the executive board will meet. After we've written them all down, we will narrow it down to 6, to which we will take it to a online poll. Now we choose these themes based on how well we think it'll fit the club, and how feasible is it, and how many songs we can do, et cetera, and then the club has 1 week to vote for which out of the top 6 that we pick it.
Could you repeat the theme again?
It's called
Everything's fine.
the official title is Everything's Fine with an upside down smiley face. After, so the idea that like things are falling apart, but you're approaching it without missing attitude. There are a lot of songs like that in musical theater.
All right, so are there any additional questions that finance board would like to ask? If not, we will move into discussion. All right. So during discussion, just finance board members, we'll have a clarifying period afterward, but during this period, just us. Okay. So, would anyone like? You guys say. I'll add that next time, right? Okay. So, we'd like to lead discussion on this.
I guess I can start.
All right, good luck.
I'm totally support this. It's usually sold out. Clearly popular. And since we're trying, since we want to look toward the entire UNC body, I feel like this is something that we should students should go into. So yeah, we should fully fund this.
Okay. Any other comments?
Yeah, I think I would agree with Kunal, especially on the part of like involved in trying to really get new people on campus, specifically freshmen, involved with things. And like I said, it's fundraising efforts for not only this event, but things in the future as well. So I think they've done a lot for this, and all of these costs are all general ones that we fund to, so that can go on and be able to fully have those city need complete support
Do you have anything to say?
I have the same contentions from the prelim, where that we're kind of, since they're making money off it, we're kind of funding a fundraiser.
Yeah.
And they're not using any money from their carryover to pay for this event, so I feel uneasy about that.
So, in my mind, the answer to that would be that these are, of course, the finance board supports all organizations to have events on campus. As a byproduct, they raise a little bit of money. Technically, none of that fund is coming from UMBC students. In that line, I don't particularly mind as much. You know, it's just like, okay, if they were charging UMBC students to attend, we have an issue there because, you know, the money collected from that was to be a double pay, requesting people outside to support clubs inside of the university while they're also providing a service to general campus body. There's not too much of an issue for me.
Can we look how many off-campus students are going to attend from the request?
Can you scroll up a little bit?
It's gonna be 200 or something, I think. And I'm assuming those will all be family members of people performing.
There you go. Downtown. There you go. 200 people.
I would consider it like a fundraiser though, especially because the purpose of the event isn't to fundraise, it's to like have a show of students so performing. And while they are making money off of like non-students, I think that's kind of beneficial to clubs, and I don't want to punish them for trying to make money for themselves to be more self-sustaining, and also like doesn't really make sense to me. Like, I already did this with fundraiser, but I see fun. I see like.
You good?
But like, they're still not using any money from their carryover for this one.
It's for this one. It's we fund these type of fees anyways. If they are requesting costumes and stuff, of course we would request them to do that because we don't extend that to every single student organization. In my mind, we should be supporting every single student organization on having events on campus. So these type of things, it wouldn't make sense for them to pay out of carryover because it's something the finance board I feel should be taking responsibility of.
I mean, I was just saying, I know, like, to encourage it, like, obviously they've done, like, the fundraise, but there's no, like, requirement placed on people to, like, fundraise, like, for themselves. Like, I mean, obviously I highly encourage it, and I think it's an important part of the organization, but, I mean, as a board, we're here to, like, give full support, so I don't want to say, like, find it necessary that, like, people have to fundraise and stuff, like, out of their carryover, which they may, like, if they would use for, like, different bodies, but, like, I think big events like this, obviously, you need to come to finance board for this to, like, to support it, financial,
Can we go back down to the line item?
Scroll up a little bit so we see the total. Thank you. All right, Scott, good? All right. Are there any motions on the floor?
$4,450.
Okay. All those for approving Musical Theater Club for the amount of $4,413, please raise your hand. All right. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 for, 0 against, 1 not present. All right. Congratulations, Musical Theater. You've been able to so.
Here's a little
I'll talk to you guys for a second on that. This is again. But as like one thing, hello, welcome to Finance Board. Actually, so Carly will be talking to you, especially as vice chair to the end. You guys take it really. Oh, Carly, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Carly.
Yeah, then she can go to us. All right. So this is Cooking Club, or Chew MVC now. Right. So first things off, I mean you've been here, so we're going to be doing a round of introductions. Did you receive the questions that I emailed you?
Yes, that's what.
Yep. So those are general. We're going to run through those questions. That's the general format this year. So first off, hello, I'm Daniel. I'm the current chair of the Finance Board. You see him progress. So keep going.
I'm the founder and president of QMBC and pronouns.
I'm a finance board representative.
And then for
I'm Tori Beasley. I am the coordinator for student organization engagement. I co-advise finance board.
Candace Martinez, I'm assistant director for leadership and governance. I co-advise finance board. Can you tell me your name one more time, please?
Tola Abu.
How do you spell
First name Tola, last name AEU.
it? That sounds fun. There you go. Wonderful, thank you. And so, Sima, I need to finance board.
Just like
I'm Joshua, I'm the treasurer. I'm Zane, I'm the president of student organizations.
Okay. So, there are a couple new faces in the room at the moment. So, would you mind giving us a rundown of what your organization does?
So, GMBC is a club where students get to learn basic cooking skills and tips on saving money and dieting and other aspects about the culinary arts. It's supposed to be a fun and easy way for UMC students to develop these kind of skills or ensure their skills if they already have one. So they know that it doesn't matter if you are 5-star or you live in an apartment or you just want to know how to upgrade your popcorn or your ramen in your dorm, that you can just learn how to do these kind of things.
All right. Now, could you talk a little bit about the events that you're requesting for?
So for this one, and I believe we also have one more, we are requesting funds for our first 6 weeks of cooking. These will be funds for our groceries.
Okay. All right. So, we're going to be rolling through the questions. You guys should have received this already. So, we'll just start off at the top. What do you guys plan on doing with leftovers after the event is finished? And are there usually leftovers?
There are usually leftovers, but not many. For the most part, leftovers are split amongst the group members if they want to take them home and eat them themselves. I don't know if they share with their roommates, but we do let them take it home. Sometimes it's thrown away, but usually not a lot.
All right. Following up, where are the ingredients stored?
The ingredients. Last semester, we drove and picked up the ingredients at the grocery stores and brought them in, but we're trying to be a little more smart financially. So with the groceries that come in, we will most likely be storing them with charcoals in the refrigerators downstairs, or if unavailable, I'll store it in my refrigerator.
Right. Okay. Is this the only request? Are these the only requests you'll be making this semester?
Probably not.
Okay. At the end of last year, you discussed plans to fundraise and become more self-sustainable. Can you share any advancements that you've had in these?
We have actually made multiple advancements. One that has been confirmed is that we are having a seafood and Maryland themed week for our club, and I reached out to the original Lexington Market in Baltimore, and they have reached out to us, and we're getting packages of food and other souvenirs from the market for students. Also this semester, we're getting more on the map and we're more established, so we're trying to collaborate with other student organizations to put with them, especially international organizations, so we can learn about different cultures and we get financial help from them. Also, we are going to be doing fundraisers. Once we work out the kinks about it, we'll be doing a sort of dining banquet meal where students will buy tickets and we use that money to buy food and fundraise for our club. If things can't work out this semester, we might postpone that to next semester. That is in our works, and we're also trying to see if we can do a big sale.
Okay. All right. So that was the pre-position questions. Now we're going to open up to Finance Board to be asking additional questions. Finance Board, questions for the organization?
Yeah, when is your first fundraiser?
First fundraiser, we do not have. Sorry. The date we are looking for our banquet is exactly a week before Thanksgiving. That's the date we are doing it. We might have a bake sale before that, but confirmed dates, the week before Thanksgiving is when we're doing this banquet.
Okay. Any other questions?
I have a question. Usually when you have events, what you estimate, is that how many students actually show?
in terms of attendance?
Oh, in terms of attendance?
Yeah.
For the most part, at least for last semester, yes.
Okay.
We had around 10 people, about like 8 to 10 people show up, and that's what we looked at.
A question for the advisor. Can clubs sell food that they cook?
And that's something that has to be done with like turtles and stuff like that.
For bake sales and stuff, you can sell baked goods that you make. So.
Other food of that nature is a whole different process.
Yes.
Yeah. So like bake sales and stuff like Carly said, yes, let's cook themselves. Outside of that, it has to be kind of talked with turtles, I believe. I think it depends on where it's being sold, but there's a higher power that needs to be contacted and communicated with in that sense.
Yeah, that's, I guess that's more towards the banquet that I brought up, and I'm trying to make sure that that process is done as legally and safe as possible. If we can't do it, that's fine. We have other options to fundraise, but I'm just trying to see that our event does happen and that's done as best as possible.
So
We should bring it back to the specific fundraise allocation request, though. I don't think we need to know about that right now.
Yeah. Okay.
But thank you.
So one question I have is, have any of these groceries been paid for already?
No.
Okay. Right. Additional question, follow up. Are any of your members paying for anything at the current moment, like for these types of things?
Yes, we've had some of our executive boards. We've paid for some stuff for so far Involvement Fest, which hasn't happened yet. So tomorrow we'll be having all the stuff tracked in.
Right. Sorry, allow me to revise my question. It's more of towards the general body. Have any of the general body incurred any costs?
Oh, no.
Okay.
But I'm going to start seeing if they can do that. So on our next meeting.
Okay. Right.
And you guys already have like cooking, like kitchen supplies, like knives and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Jarwell supplies, all of that. We're already going to get some safety gloves and thermometers.
Cool. Scott. Cool.
You said when your banquet was. When do you plan to have your first bake sale, since you mentioned that earlier?
Maybe around October.
Hey Scott, I'd like to bring it back more onto like just the specific request.
Okay.
Yeah. While the other stuff, of course, their internal finances, they choose to do it. Just the fact that they're planning it, when they hold it, doesn't matter to us. Yeah.
You seem interested. If you want to, are you trying to come out and buy all the cookies or something?
But yeah.
Since one of the question was around fundraising, I was trying to figure that out more.
Yeah. But it's just like they still got hands for it. You know, I'm not gonna dig too much into it. Folks, bring it back into the actual request.
You go down.
Yes. To the budget one, please.
I don't know if I missed this already, but when did you say you wanted to have your first week meeting with the donor body partnership?
I know that there is a specific timing. I believe it's a 10-day, confirmation of funds before you can talk to the SABSC about ordering food. So the week 1 stuff might not be able to get in, but we should be good for next week, which will be. So I can scroll over a little more and see what else is in there. Or, sorry, down. I'm confusing myself. Yeah, the week 2 and week 3 stuff we'll focus on if we can't get it in.
What do you mean by the 10-day?
I thought that there was like, you have to have your funds at least 10 days in advance before you can order food with SABSC.
I don't think that's the thing.
Oh, it isn't?
I'm not gonna be the right person to confirm that.
Okay, yeah, okay, if it's not, then it's not gonna be good, but if it
It might
is.
be an SABSC.
Yes.
Okay.
Double check with them.
Yeah.
Of course, when you get the legislation and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm meeting with them tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
Wonderful. That's it.
Are there any additional questions from the finance board? If not, we'll be moving into a period of discussion. All right. So during discussion, you're allowed to stay, but only for finance board members. Okay. Would anyone like to lead discussion?
I think it's really like what they're asking for. I feel like it's very like realistic, and it's not like. And he said that that how much he assumes comes actually, and in addition to that, like, I don't see like any crazy like unrealistic
tournaments this year, and they've also made improvements. And I like the name, by the way. Yeah, so they've made improvements. They've tried to fundraise and they plan on it. So I feel like with a little help from us, they can really just try to be good with it.
Okay.
Yeah, I would just add on to what's been mentioned about efforts in terms of like fundraising and finances. And also, I think it's like a really great mission of the club because I know a lot of people who can't cook. So I think it's like a great thing for finance support, be supporting it in terms of like costs and whatnot. Yeah, I think like could offset like just giving them the support now and helping them build it is a good idea. So.
Scott?
My same thoughts from the prelims again. We can choose to look at this as funding general body meetings or funding a bunch of events. I think if we look at it as funding a bunch of events, then it's pretty justified. So I support it.
Carly?
Yeah, I think this is pretty straightforward, and I agree that we want to support them in their first few weeks, especially since they were first graded last semester and they're still trying to get on their own feet. I really appreciate like the efforts to find more self-sustaining or local partnerships with, especially with Baltimore. I think that's really great. I guess I'm just a little like concerned about if we're going to how many more requests we would be having until like that self-sustenance kind of management is all set up. But I am in favor of fully funding this request.
So, have your final thoughts on this? Of course, for now, for week 1 through 6 in the organization, they're making steps towards getting self-sustaining. I firmly believe in offering 100% support at the moment. However, I think though, as the year progresses on, I think the finance board should begin reducing it a bit to allow them to utilize their resources that they've self-sustainably raised. And at that point, I would say probably, personally, October, November, when we hit those, at the end of this, maybe the 8th, 9th week, we begin cutting back support. That's my personal opinion.
Or, just looking at reevaluating. Yeah.
Scott?
Why would they not have justification if we're funding them now to continue having funding forever?
Well, right now, the organization. Later on, though, it's just like we want them to be self-sustaining, though, so we can begin cutting back. I'd rather not just like suddenly just say no more support for you, obviously. Because finance board, I think we should still be supporting these type of organizations. It's simply the cost sharing question shifts over more towards them. And once we hit those 9-10 weeks into the semester, I think those efforts that they are supposed to be doing right now should start coming to fruition. And if not, there's a little bit more pressure onto them to get it to come to fruition as well. But that's my rationale behind it. Okay?
Yeah, I mean, I would just comment that we're kind of like looking at it as an event. Like, it'd be like them using that money to then host an event to be able to do those things. So, but I like to hear from Scott about like setting the precedent and then reevaluating. But I guess that's under our discretion. So.
Yeah.
So I guess the question, and correct me if I'm wrong, Scott, that you're asking is that if you are looking at these as events, why would you continue to look at them as events? And follow up, do you expect all student organizations to be self-sustaining?
It's the nature of this organization. It's just like it's multiple small repeating events. Most I can fairly say that this is a rare type of event, rare type of student organization at UMBC. Most organizations at UMBC 1-2 events a year, big, and that's how they roll with it. That's how finance board has generally operated, as under that assumption. Of course, we do want to encourage smaller organizations such as UMBC to hold events, these smaller scale events to occur. But obviously, we can't fund them at like the same level as those large organizations are getting. So simply by the nature of their events, they're going to be requesting smaller amounts. And in that nature, it's just like we'd like them to. how do I put this? I don't want to put it into a valuation-based thing again, but it's just like, as a smaller organization, the reach is limited. 16 people, the scale is a lot different there. While of course we want them to have support of the finance board, we'd ask them to take on a bit of the burden as well. Large organizations will be doing that when they hold their large organizations, as finance board generally doesn't fund everything either. So I don't think that under simply, oh, this is a small event, this is why we should be receiving everything, because these small events do build up throughout the year. Scott?
So is the justification kind of like a startup cost for the club?
Yeah.
Okay. Why wouldn't we, like, if there are events we support, though, I don't understand why they wouldn't be able to request funding.
They freely can. I just don't think the finance board would continue to fund through it. Simply on the basis that it's small. Let's just say they come in every single 6 weeks to do that, it builds up at a certain level, and it's just like, we don't fund large organizations fully generally. Once we reach the end of the year, cuts are being made somewhere. And I'd rather not have cuts begin somewhere in the year. I'd rather that we maintain a constant level throughout the entire year.
Okay. They should be self-sustaining enough to the point where we should contribute to an amount that we think is right towards the 8 to 10 week mark.
I'm not happy with that justification, but I don't think it's applicable to the current situation since we're going to fund this obviously right now.
Yeah. No, so what would you use?
What
would you use? It's a discussion period. Yeah. Do you what's your justification for funding this organization, or would we continue funding fully throughout the entire year?
That's what I was saying. This seems like an acceptable event. I don't understand why they should have the unique burden of becoming self-sustaining when other clubs don't. If we set the precedent that we fund this event, why would we randomly stop after an arbitrary period of 10 weeks?
So precedents can change over time.
I wouldn't place it as a randomly stop. These larger organizations have the capability of funding for themselves, but by simply the nature of having large events, Commons is asking $3,000 from them off the bat. There's no way any student organization at this current moment has the capability of doing that. Smaller organizations like this, you have 16 members, they request $109. Costs definitely can be spread out. And this one, it's a unique funding source, because the finance board previously, we look at these big events and then we fund these heavily simply because on the basis that no student organization is going to come up with $9,000. It's impossible, generally. I don't think there has been a single organization at UMBC, or at least two have fully raised anything. The reliance on the finance board is heavy there. And I don't think you can equate these large events to these smaller events. They're fundamentally different. And I think while giving this small organization the capability now to exist, which is what we will be doing, is the finance board throwing the full support behind this organization. However, as the organization continues to mature, the finance board will then begin to start recessing slightly. I wouldn't say like we're just going to cut off suddenly. I wouldn't say like what a reasonable cut is. Of course, will need to be up for discussion, but we would like to see the student organization take on some costs, because every single other organization does take on some costs. Simply by the nature of them being small doesn't mean that they shouldn't.
And there's also a difference in opinion, so it doesn't have to be all of us in agreement.
Yeah, I think that the question I hear, or the question I have, and then maybe I hear, I'm not sure, is around, I guess it's a question I have, it's like, so what is the student organization's purpose? What's the purpose of the student organization? Right? And, I guess I ask you to sit with that, and then if their impact is 5 versus 500, is there a value you're placing on that? Right? If those students who are in a smaller club have interactions and find connection, and you are funding that, what is the difference between that and when you fund an event with 600 people attend, where those students also have interaction and they find a connection? That's a philosophical question.
But, yeah. However, if we don't have any other issues, is there a motion on the floor? Second. All right. Move to approve CHU MBC for the amount of 109.40. And could you open up the second document as well? Gotta add these things together. Go over to the right one. So you see the arrow in the bottom right? The other one. Yeah, there we go.
There you go.
Let's go all the way down again. So it was 109.04. Yeah, we'll just add them together. And then, what is this? 129.55.
100 what?
238.95.
Okay, move to approve CHU MBC for, Kunaki, say it? 238.95. All members for? 6. And there's no one against, 0 and 1 absent. All right. To do the same thing again. Thank you. Josh, you bring back up the agenda. Okay, 6:40. I got 10 minutes. Would you guys like to take an 8-minute recess? Get back here. 7-minute recess at 6:40. All right.
No.
Scott, you, not Scott, no, you stop the live stream. Or recess. Sorry. Get here in 7 minutes.